Hey everyone, good day and welcome to this edition of Let's Talk Networking. I'm Terilee Harrison and I am passionate about helping coaches, consultants, and solopreneurs be able to network in the most dynamic and lucrative way. Today, I would love for you to meet my guest, Kathy Ashton. Kathy, welcome.
Thank you very much. Nice to be here. Thank you for having me, Terilee.
Oh, it's just I love talking to Kathy, everyone. And I think that once you get to know her, you're going to want to talk to her too. Let me introduce Kathy so that you'll know what she's all about. And then we're going to dive in and get started. I know it's going to be a very informative discussion. So Kathy is a chronic illness expert, a thyroid Hashimoto's expert. She is the founder of the KIT Healing Program. She's an autoimmunity expert, chronic disease healing strategist, medicinal nutritionist, health transformation coach, and speaker. Woo! Her company is Flourish Live Naturally, and she's coming to us from the Melbourne, Australia area. So I'm so excited to have you here. And does your bio speaks volumes for your expertise?
I tell you what, when you read it out like that, I want to get to know me.
That's what I say. I say all the time when people read my bio, I'm like, who is she? Right? But that's what we want. But that's what we want. We want people to be like, oh my gosh. And you know what I love about it is anybody that's struggling with any of those things is going to be like, oh, I want to listen to what she's up to. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's been a long journey to get here, but it's something that I'm incredibly passionate about, is helping people with chronic illnesses. As you well know, chronic illnesses of any description. My husband has multiple sclerosis, and it's not easy to navigate and to find alternatives or find solutions that work alongside Western medicine, and I use food as medicine. So I use food to heal. So that's what we're here to talk about today.
Oh, I'm so excited. I always say I will go back to, and I think I put it in the comments above the post that you'll see if you haven't seen it already. And it's for business owners, if you don't have your health, you're never going to be able to reach your business goals. And so often we get going in the business, and we've got to stop. We've got to stop and focus on ourselves. It's just vital. It's like foundational. So like I told Kathy that when we leave our talk today, I'm prepared to go do my workout. Like it's part of my day and part of what I have to do. And we've got to put ourselves first. So Kathy has some great points for us. And of all the sophisticated things she's going to talk to us about, I know that for the first thing she wants to share with us is the importance of your water intake. So that sounds so like, I'm sure there's way more things you could talk to us about, but let's start with water.
It's really interesting, Terilee, is that you've got to do your workout routine, right? That's just part of your day. And now you know, right? And most of us do. And even in lockdown, one of the things they're all saying that we can go out for is to actually go out and exercise. So we know that. So, and we concentrate on that exercise, and we sort of put it into our diary that, okay, I've done my exercise this morning. I've been out since early morning and going off and doing our walk and coming back, and we'll do it again this afternoon. Because it fits into our routine with my husband. So it's really important. So we know that. But too often we don't think about how food impacts on what we're doing. And we're eating that 3 times a day. We're putting it into our systems 3 times a day, and they are actually drugs. But one of the things we don't think about is our water intake. And is that in your diary as something to do? So I thought I would touch on it today, because as business owners, what we need to do is we need productivity. And what I'm hearing more and more about, especially with business owners, is that I've got foggy brain. I can't think, right? That foggy brain, I just wish it would lift. And is it the fact that, something bigger is going on, or is it the fact that you're just dehydrated? Do you know when you're dehydrated, you only need to be 2% a decrease in hydration within your brain, and you will have short-term memory loss. You'll have trouble working out maths. So your math calculations goes down that ability to be able to do math goes down, right? So you have trouble with mental clarity, you have brain fog and fatigue.
Wow.
Not to think about constipation and a whole lot of other things in the gut. We're just talking about what it does to the brain, right? We don't think about it. So 2% is just this tiny, tiny little bit. You know, our body's 60 to 70% of our total body is water. It's huge. 3/4 of your brain is made up of water. So if you just go from 75% down to 73%, you're going to be sitting there going, I can't think properly.
Yeah.
I can't concentrate.
Yeah.
And what's more is I can't remember. And as we age, we begin to think, oh, I can't remember where I put my keys anymore. So and we all get a bit worried about that good letter A. Are we heading towards the Alzheimer's or the dementia side of life? When in actual fact, maybe we're just not drinking enough. Now we're coming out of the of winter, and very few people drink lots of water in winter. And you guys are coming out of summer, so you probably feel like, oh, well, I've drunk lots because we're in summer, and often it's better. So because you do drink, you're thirsty, right, in summer, but going into winter, we don't think about it. So it's really it's a really important topic. And that's why I chose to talk about it today, because hydration will shrink the brain. It shrinks the brain size and it shrinks the brain function. So super important to be going, how much do I need? Now, everyone says this, how much water do I need to drink? Right? That's what we've got to kind of figure out. So I thought, okay, I'll give you an easy calculation. And this is going to work. It'll work because the easiest way to think about it is to look at your weight in pounds. So if you're a kilo, if you live down here like we do in Australia and we do everything in kilos, you do need to do some calculations. So convert your weight into pounds, because this is the easiest way to do it. Divide it by half. And then convert that into ounces. And that's how many ounces you need to drink on a daily basis. So if you're, for instance, say you're 140 pounds, half of that is 70 pounds, that equals 70 ounces, which is about two litres. So if you're in Australia or you work in kilos, you go and you weigh 70 kilos, it's 154 pounds, half of that is 77 ounces, which equals about 2.2 litres. So for most average women in particular who are around about that, 150 pounds area, which is kind of the average weight for women these days, if you're around about that, you're looking at about 2.2 litres, which is a lot, right?
It can be a lot.
Yeah. And it's a lot not to do it. So if you're only drinking a litre, you're only half hydrating your brain. And then we sit there and we go, well, why aren't I thinking properly? And this is really important. Or the easier way to do it is 8 glasses.
Yes.
And you need to tick them off. 8 glasses is 1.89 litres. So it's not quite the 2 litre mark. But if you get to 8 things, you are going to increase your mental flexibility by 14%. That's what the research shows. Just by drinking 8 glasses a day, 14%. Isn't that crazy?
Yes. And y'all, this is why I like hanging out with Kathy, because she's got all the information. Kathy, this is, for me, it became important to me when I went from Zoom meeting to Zoom meeting to Zoom meeting to like make sure I had time in between so that I can go grab that water, because too often we can get all booked, right? And just go off and do the things and like totally forget about it. And we can't. It's got to be, we have to do it, as you say, do the tick marks and do it with intention, right? Because I need all the brain power I can get.
Yeah, I know, right? Do you know the interesting thing for me is when we went into all of these Zoom meetings and we did Zoom meeting after Zoom meeting, I would have a break between each Zoom meeting, but I'd race upstairs and I'd get a cup of tea.
Yeah.
And I'd bring down that cup of tea. Now, I may not have drunk it all, but I was finding that I was suddenly drinking between 8 and 10 cups of tea a day.
Wow.
Right. Yeah, I know. So then when I started to get some heart palpitations and high blood pressure, I'm thinking to myself, what has done this? Nothing in my diet has changed. What am I doing? And then I started realizing, well, even if it is, I'm drinking the water in the tea, but the caffeine in the tea is hydrating my brain, is hydrating dehydrating my entire body, dehydrating my brain, dehydrating me, and is causing this downward spiraling effect of having way too much caffeine. So nowadays, I've stopped doing that. Everything's gone back to normal, which is great. It was a really simple thing to be able to do. And now, yes, I might either have hot water or I have a herbal tea or I might throw some ginger in it, or I might throw some strawberries in it, just to amp it up because we're in winter and drinking cold water isn't really pleasant. However, let me tell you, though, that cold water absorbs 20% faster than tepid water.
Oh, it does.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you about cold water. Being here in Singapore, I've had a chance to meet some traditional Chinese medicine folks.
Yeah, right.
And they always tout the benefits of warm water and hot water. And for the first few years I moved here, I'm the one always requesting the cold water, having come from the States, and that's our custom and what we're used to. But I've recently got into drinking the warm water myself. So is there any reason why one's better than the other, or can we just switch?
When you look at Chinese medicine, what they're always looking at is how the body is whether it's whether a particular individual works better with cold foods or hot foods, and whether it stagnates. So it's traditional Chinese medicine looks at life very differently. So when you look at the research from a Western science research, it says cold water will absorb better than warm and tepid water by 20%. You could take it in your stride, really, but that's kind of what they say. My way of thinking is drink water any way you like to drink it.
Deal. Deal. Love it.
I'm not a cold water girl. I don't like cold water. Cold water doesn't, it's not my thing. I like room temperature water. Then I'm really happy with that. Mm-hmm. So I think it's just drink water and make it part of your. So you do your exercise, now tick off your water and make that absolutely 100% where you're going to go with it, and it becomes part of your daily routine. Awesome. Now you don't want to one thing you don't want to do is get to the end of the day though and look at your water chart and only notice that you've only drunk 2 or 3 glasses, and then you go nuts and you drink 6 glasses because you're going to be up peeing all night.
Yeah. I don't go for that. No.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm with you. Okay. All right. So now they know. Then now they're getting too much information about me. Okay. So then as we progressed into our conversation, was there additional things you wanted to say about productivity and foggy brain besides water?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. So there's a couple of things that I want to talk about. So we'll go into looking at snacks. Okay. Yeah. The brain runs on carbohydrates. It loves carbohydrates. That's why we crave them. So if we're hungry and we've forgotten to eat during the day because we're going from Zoom meeting to Zoom meeting, what you'll often do is you'll go, oh gosh, I'm starving. So the first thing you're going to go and do is grab something sugary or those carbohydrates that come in a packet. And they're the worst things possible for you. So what you want to be able to do is think about your snacks again, like planning your day. Planning works, because if we don't plan, then, it all goes to mush, I suppose, is a better way of putting it.
Mush is good.
Mush is good. So it all goes to mush, and then you find at the end of the day that you feel that you haven't eaten properly. So some of the really good snacks that actually are going to work from a productivity point of view is having almonds and nuts, for instance. So 23 almonds a day. So sorry to be so specific, but it is only 23. Otherwise, you're going to be, way too many calories.
Yeah.
Walnuts are really good for foggy brain as well. But almonds are very good for focus because of the nutrients in them. So if you're wanting to focus on something, have yourself those. And they're really good at protein, and they give you sustained energy and all of those sorts of things. One of the snacks that I like to have around is carrots and hummus, right? Nice little thing, especially around about that 3 o'clock if you haven't had a proper lunch and you are feeling a bit tired. Some carrots and hummus, absolutely brilliant. Now, what you get here with this little snack is it's creamy, so it sort of gives you that sort of special feeling that it's creamy, and you get crunchy. Our brain makes baby neurons every day, about 700 baby neurons. So you know how the myth is that your brain doesn't regenerate, it doesn't make new neurons. Well, that's not true. It makes about 700 baby neurons every day, but it only makes them if you eat crunchy food.
Oh my goodness.
I know, right?
Do you all see what a plethora of information she is? Oh my gosh. Okay. All right. So we're going to crunch. Go ahead.
So I know. This is the weirdest research. It came out of Sweden. And I am a bit of a research nerd. And I love finding out stuff like this, because when you look at the elderly, right, your grandparents and your elderly parents, when you're looking at them, watch their diet. Their diet is tea and toast, right? It's mushy food because they've lost their teeth, or, it's mushy food. So the crunch isn't there. So what happens when you age? Your grandparents, they're all getting a bit on the demented side or a little bit on the Alzheimer's side. Yeah, great. So how do we keep the brain young? We need crunchy food. So hummus and carrots, hummus and celery, things like that. Brilliant, because your brain is going to see crunchy food and make yourself 700 baby neurons every day. So you're going to keep a young brain. So what it also does is that some of the carotenoids, or some of the nutrients within the carrots, improves memory. All right. So lutein is what it does. And in the hummus, you've got omega-3 fatty acids, and you've got protein, which is going to the hummus. This is what it does. This is what chickpeas do. They're amazing. Improves your intelligence, boosts your mood, because they're very high in tryptophan, and tryptophan goes into serotonin, and serotonin makes us feel happy. So serotonin is really important for good bowel movement. So if you've got a problem there. So, and the tryptophan also helps with relaxation. So if you're stressed, by having that carrot and hummus as a snack, absolutely amazing. Really, really good tip.
It's a really good tip. Yeah.
So avocados. So let's do some avocados. That is going to improve the brain flow to your brain. If you've got a brain that is getting lots of oxygen and lots of really good blood circulation around it, then it's going to work better. So this is really important. And it gives you a greater ability to think. So having a little bit of avocado with your lunch, fabulous for giving you that lift for the afternoon. Really excellent. It's great it sustains your energy, and it's great. It's a monounsaturated fat, so it's really good from that point of view. If you had a fried something for lunch, right? You have fried chips. So we're talking something fatty at lunchtime. Yeah. If the quickest thing is to go and get, a hamburger, all of that fat, or cheese, a toasted cheese sandwich, all of the fat that's actually in that decreases your oxygen levels by 20%. So this is why you have your toasted cheesy for lunch, and by 3 o'clock, you are ready for your nana nap.
Yep.
That's where you've got to have your carrots and hummus in.
Yep.
So you don't want to do that. You don't want to eat fatty foods. You will decrease your brain activity by 20%, which is not a good thing. one of the big questions everyone asks me is, what about chocolate?
Oh, yeah. Let's talk about chocolate. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let's talk about chocolate. The 3 o'clock, oh my goodness, I have to eat chocolate.
Mm-hmm.
Chocolate is a good brain food, but not much of it. Yeah, it's really good.
Just a little bit of it.
Just a little bit.
And what kind of chocolate?
Non-dairy, if you can do it, obviously, because the dairy side of it's got inflammation, and that's going to cause a whole lot of stuff in your brain, so you don't want to do that. So it's very high in magnesium. And this is why in times when we are super stressed, we all go for chocolate, because it's high in magnesium, which decreases stress and anxiety. And at the moment with COVID, everybody is stressed and everybody's reaching for the chocolate, right? Yeah. But you need to be mindful of how much chocolate is good and how much tips it over. It's like red wine. 1 glass, 100 mils of red wine every day, fantastic. A liter of red wine, not so much. Yeah. So it's all about blend, all about moderation, I suppose.
I've loved just how practical you've been and how foundational you've been just for busy business owners who it might be all we can do some days to get our water in and make sure that we're prepared to have the right snacks to keep us going, and truly having the right nutrition all through the day is what is going to fuel us to be able to do the things that we need to do. Exactly. Is there another tip you want to give in closing before we start to close out?
Green leafy vegetables. Have everything as green leafy vegetables because it'll increase your brain flow. It'll fight your fatigue. So think about doing a smoothie. You can throw all of this in a smoothie and have it sitting by your desk all day. So you can make a smoothie with a handful of green leafy veg, put some berries in there because the brain loves to eat berries, really good for those baby neurons as well. A banana, some nut butter, throw some almonds in there, a little bit of avocado and some water, and you've got it covered. And my last tip, so that smoothie, that's the smoothie, it's a nice smoothie we enjoy. And my very, very, very last tip is for today before we close out is if you can't sleep at night, 2 kiwi fruit, 2 hours before bed.
Ooh, that's
2 hours.
A good tip.
Yeah. So after dinner, finish your dinner off with 2 kiwi fruit, 2 hours prior to going to bed, or, just after dinner, have your 2 kiwi fruit and your sleep will improve. See, food is amazing, isn't it?
Food is amazing. Food is amazing. Yes. Oh my gosh, there's been so many golden nuggets, and I knew that there would be. So y'all, so I want to welcome those who have been watching us. Simon's here, Athul's here, Ryan's here. I am a client of Kathy's. I've gone through Kathy's program, and it's what I love so much with her being a medicinal nutritionist and teaching us that our food is medicine, right? Is that so many times I've been on diets in my life where things were very restrictive. And it was all about what you can't eat, not about what you could eat. So I'm just going to give her a little plug. I think you see it back behind her, but she not only in her program will customize what you need to know to eat the right food as medicine, but she even teaches you and shares recipes of amazing I gotta go backwards, of amazing things. She's got 2 beautiful cookbooks and just it opened up my world to be able to learn to eat right, cook right, just have a new I redid my pantry in my kitchen to have all the right things in it instead of being full of the wrong. And so if what Kathy is saying resonates with you, I just want to invite you to follow her. I think that you'll enjoy hearing all these things from her. If you're someone who's not feeling well due to any of the things we talked about at the top of the show, whether that's chronic illness, inflammation, if you're suffering from fatigue, Kathy's your girl. Kathy can help you. So Kathy, how can people get a hold of you?
You can follow me on LinkedIn. So I post 3 times a week on LinkedIn, and Fridays are very much around food and what those foods do. So it's educating. So follow me on LinkedIn. I'd love to be connected with you all on LinkedIn. Otherwise, if you're interested and you would like to have a chat with me, send me an email. I'll send you my Calendly link. And that would be to Kathy it was with a K, Kathy, Kathy at Flourish LN. So live naturally, flourishln.com.au. And I'll be very, very happy to speak to you and figure out a time when we can connect and how I can actually help you. It'd be my pleasure.
Awesome. So I can't recommend Kathy highly enough. So I hope this was beneficial to you all. We'll look forward to having her back again. We'll discuss some more fabulous information to help us take care of our health so that we can grow the business and live the legacy that we would like to right now. So Kathy, thank you so much. And everyone, we'll see you tomorrow on the next edition of Let's Talk Networking.
Thank you.
Thank you.